Good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. Here we are, the end of, March already, the 29th of March, 2016. Happy Easter, or after Easter. And by the way, tonight, I did say in the past that in lieu of having a chef here from a different restaurant, which we will accept and we welcome, if you know restaurants or chefs out there that want to come on the show and show people how to cook and how they can save money, how they can feed their family, we'll welcome you on this show. You know, get in touch with me, Bob at bobsadventures.com or ventbob@gmail.com, or go on Facebook. I mean, I'm the easiest person in Rhode Island to get a hold of. I love it when people say to me, I've been trying to get a hold of you. My phone number hasn't changed in 25 years. I have 4 or 5 Facebook accounts because of the guys that work on my show. And I'm the easiest person to get a hold of. Just Bob Venturini or Robert Venturini on Facebook. You can get a hold of me some way. And if you want to come to work on this show, that would be a nice thing to start. You want to do something different, have some fun, meet some interesting people. Well, I remember several weeks ago I had said that if we don't have a chef on the show, I will do a little cooking and show people how they can save money and feed their family for a lot less money than going to Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's. And it kills me. It really does kill me, folks, when I see 4 or 5 kids in the car with mom and they're going through Wendy's, and it takes enough time. You figure they're getting a mortgage or something. The amount of time it takes them to get all the food. First of all, why don't you stop being lazy? Get out of the car and go inside and get your food if you're going to do that. But a bag of French fries, a little bag of French fries that you get $1.99 for, in weight, what do you think that is? About 4 ounces. You can get 5 pounds of potatoes for $3.99. Do the math. And when I see people in the supermarket, especially in the first of the month, and yes, I know I heard it from people, a couple people that saying that I'm picking on the people with EBT cards, the poor people that deserve it. There are a lot of poor people that deserve it, but there's also a lot of people that are scamming it. And I see them in the supermarket on the first of the month, and you can always tell who's got the EBT card because their carriage is the one that's chock full. In fact, I saw one a couple weeks ago. She had a carriage chock full, and she had a 9-year-old daughter pushing the second carriage. It was like a wagon train. And they're pushing it up and down the aisles, and they're grabbing everything. And of course, they grab real, good stuff for you, like frozen this and frozen that. Frozen French toast. Don't you know? All you got to do is mix a couple eggs with some milk, and take some bread and dip it in the eggs, and then put it in the frying pan, and you got real fresh, good French toast instead of frozen French toast or frozen pancakes. Everything's frozen today. And it would be different if they're doing it because they don't have time because they're working 40 or 50 hours a week. No, these people are home watching TV all day. I mean, I see it. I live in not a real great section of a city. I won't even say where. If you don't know now, I'm not telling you. But I see people all the time hanging around doing nothing, and they're healthy individuals. I've had 5 back operations, 5 knee operations, and several other operations, and I still get up every morning and try to do something, some kind of chore or some kind of a job, try to do something to better myself or better my family. These people are 20, 22, 23, 25-year-old kids, guys, and instead of doing anything good, they're standing around, and what are they doing? They're drinking. And of course, they put it in a brown paper bag like we don't know what it is. And they drink it, and then they throw the can in the middle of the street. So instead of doing something that helps, they do something that damages. And last but not least, if you were in Canada, if you ever gone to Canada, have you ever seen, what is the first thing you notice when you go across the Canadian border? The cleanliness, right? And you know why? Because if you're on public assistance in Canada, you are given an area, a block, and your job all year is to maintain that block. You are to pick up the trash in the summertime, and in the winter, but more importantly in the winter, they give you a tractor, and you are to clean the snow on the sidewalk all around that block. In the summertime, that same unit has a giant vacuum, picks up beer bottles. They go up and down the street, and that's their job. And talk about accountability. If that block isn't clean, they know exactly where to go. and who's not getting their welfare check that month. Why can't we do that? Anyway, folks, I'm going to get off my high horse for a minute, but we'll come back because I'm going to show you how I, for 25 bucks, made enough food, good food, to feed at least 10 people and feed them well. And here we are on an hour with Bob, and my name is Bob Venturini, and with me tonight is Dennis Hilliard. Dennis, you've been here before, huh?
I've been here 3 times, but this is my 4th time, Bob.
4th time?
Yeah.
Well, that must mean you're an important guy. If I've invited you back here 4 times, it means you have something to say, and I consider you an important individual.
And I appreciate that.
Well, I thank you for coming by. And you brought friends with you tonight, too.
I brought colleagues with me tonight.
Now, Otto Gregory from URI, you're a doctor.
Yes.
You're not a surgeon. I've had enough of them.
Not that kind of doctor.
Not that kind of doctor. A doctor of what? Chemistry?
Engineering.
Engineering. Doctor of engineering. And you were recently on CBS TV,
We were on
weren't you?
CBS because of some of the sensor work we're doing with the Department of Homeland Security for detecting the explosive TATP.
Pretty impressive.
Thank you.
And to think about it, and it's ironic that I have a beagle, and beagles are one of the best dogs to use because supposedly they have one of the best sense of smells, first of all. Right, Jimmy?
That's correct.
Hi, Jimmy?
That's my name.
Jimmy.
Oxley.
No, but Jimmy, the name Jimmy, Jimmie.
Correct.
Now, how'd you get a name like that?
Named after my dad.
Named after Dad. Dad's name's Jimmy with a Y.
Dad's name's Demi, and my brother's named after my mom, just to keep it fair.
Really?
Really.
A little strange family, huh? Now, where are you from? Arizona?
Arizona.
You said what, Phoenix?
Phoenix.
Now, how'd you end up in Rhode Island?
A mistake? No.
We all done that. No, actually, I was born here, so. No, go ahead. How'd you end up in Rhode Island?
I got a job here.
Yeah?
And
How long
it's
you
a
been here?
beautiful state.
How long you been here?
Came here in '95, so
Oh, so you've been here a
20
while.
years.
Yeah, you've been here a while.
But that doesn't qualify. It's still a newcomer
No,
right in Rhode
no,
Island.
I'll accept you. You're accepted.
Oh,
She's
thank you.
accepted. She's accepted.
But I've only
Jimmy's
been on your
accepted.
show once, unlike Dennis here 4 times.
There's a second time. There's a shot at a second time.
Oh, okay.
You watch yourself. You'll be
If I
on it.
behave.
You'll be on
Okay,
again.
got it.
You know, be on again. Now you're a doctor also,
That's true.
and you're a doctor what? You're the chemistry doctor.
I'm the chemist.
Now, how do you fit in this whole thing with the?
I make the explosives.
You make the explosives.
I make the explosives.
Ooh.
So yeah, it better be good.
Now that explosive, correct me if I'm wrong, that white powder that I mean, is that as volatile or more volatile than TNT? What is it? How does that stand against TNT?
It's more sensitive than TNT. It's not quite as powerful, but it's easier to make than TNT.
That was my next question. When you say easier to make, could I make it?
I saw you cook, so I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
No, but I guess my
But we're
next
not gonna
question.
do that
Could
on
I
the
get the
TV
chemicals?
show.
Could I get the chemicals to make it?
Well, certainly.
I could.
Absolutely.
I mean, legally.
Yes.
Now that's scary. Otto, I could get the chemicals to do that?
You get the chemicals to do that, and you wouldn't draw attention.
Now I saw them blow up a door with like this much, right?
That was in Jimmy's laboratory. Yes.
You did
Well, it was
that.
out in the woods, but it was 50 grams. My watch, which is a fairly big watch, is about 50 grams weight.
And you blew a door apart,
Yes.
car door apart.
Yes. We also blew up my nanny's mailbox. She's been very grateful for that.
Really? I got a couple of things we could blow up.
Yeah. Yeah. We're
I won't
always
ask them,
looking for, no, but no people. Okay.
Nope. No. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to hurt anybody. Even people I don't like. I don't want to hurt anybody. They'll get hurt on their own. I always believe in that. Karma has a way of doing things.
That's
But now you say that this device that you've now have you made this? Is this
Yeah,
your gig?
We started doing this about 12 years ago, making sensors for gas detection, vapor detection.
Right.
And for the last 8 years, we've been focused on explosives. So things like TATP, the material that Jimmie synthesizes in her laboratory, and other explosives like ammonium nitrate that was used in the Oklahoma City bombing. That's another
good.
explosive we look at, and derivatives of TNT. So we detect things in the vapor phase. So if they have enough Vapor pressure, we can detect them.
So if you were at the site of the Oklahoma bomb after the fact, can you tell what they used?
Well, you'd like to be able to detect it before it goes
No, I know
off.
that.
Okay,
I know
so-
that. I
okay,
know that.
okay.
That's the obvious. That's the game plan.
So before it detonates, that's when we're trying to detect it in that state versus the state after.
After the
it-
fact. But
yeah,
I guess what I'm saying is, you can see from the results of an explosion what caused the explosion.
Yeah, post-blast, as Jimmie's
There's
expertise.
always a little bit of residue
Right,
left over.
right.
After Oklahoma City, for example, Steve Burmeister with the FBI testified he found a crystal of ammonium nitrate that had been thrown around.
Wow. Now there was a bombing in a plane that didn't take the plane down, but it blew a hole in the side of a plane about 3 or 4 weeks ago. You familiar with that
Seen
one?
that.
Yeah.
I never found out what it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
We don't know.
No?
Apparently she wasn't called in on that one.
No?
Almost
Not
at every
called.
bomb
No, that
scare.
wasn't U.S. though. That was
Yeah,
not in the
But it
U.S.
doesn't matter. Internationally, she gets called.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
I even got called to Rhode Island exploding beaches.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Right,
down near
Narragansett, yeah.
Salty Brine Beach.
Right, right.
By the way, I had Salty Brine on here. Last public appearance he did was on this show.
Nice catch.
So,
But yes.
so you got called down there. Now, you
They
figure
had-
out what happened there?
Well, I think that I didn't, but I think that oceanography folks did at the Ocean Bay campus of URI, and it was sort of an electrolysis reaction that went on there.
Supposedly there was a pipe or a
Cable.
cable
An
on the
old
ground,
cable,
right? An
right.
old cable?
An old electrical cable.
That was still electrified?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it
Wasn't
wasn't.
electrified.
3 copper conductors were in the center of the cable, and it was exposed at the end. Because I spent an afternoon at State Police headquarters looking at the same evidence. So
Okay.
They called me and I referred them to him.
Really? Now, you run the whole show down there, right?
No.
Now, what do you run? What do you run?
I run the state crime
You
laboratory.
run the forensic, you
I
run the forensic lab, like
state
the
crime lab at URI.
NCIS.
And because we created the Forensic Science Partnership so many years ago with me and Dr. Oxley and Dr. Chrisman, I get a lot of calls for a variety of different that we don't handle in our lab.
Right,
But
so you
me and
pass
the
them
university,
off.
We can refer to, and that's the benefit of the partnership. The beauty of it is that we have so many experienced scientists within the university that I can pass them off to, or they can assist us. Gunshot residue, primary thing we get in the laboratory to see if someone's fired a gun recently
Right.
on their hands. Otto's the one that got the scanning electron microscope. I went to a police chief's meeting and asked for $250,000 for microscope. They laughed at me.
Right.
But Otto, in conjunction with the partnership, we're able to get a grant, a federal grant, to buy the equipment. And we still use it, and it's been, what, 15 years?
it's been 15 years. National Science Foundation gave us the microscope to do the work for gunshot residue analysis.
And then other work they do with
Wow.
it. So it's not just for the gunshot, but they have a variety of different things they can use it for. So the partnership benefits everyone at the university.
Well, it's pretty impressive that URI, has done so well and is so highly respected for their
Yeah, we
crime
have
lab
centers of excellence. We
and,
have,
and their
other partnerships with Surface and Sensors Technology. We have the Cybersecurity Center of Excellence as well. And all those started with the Forensic Science Partnership with the crime laboratory being located at the campus of the University of Rhode Island. So it's a great benefit to the university.
Sure,
to have us there.
absolutely. Well, we got more to talk about, but I got to say hi to my other friends here tonight. Who we got here? We got a magician here. Jason, how you doing?
Fantastic.
Now, what are you going to do for me in a little while?
I am going to saw my beautiful assistant, Miss Sadie Clark.
No, she looks good the way she is. Why do you want to saw her? I can see her already.
Why not? She's the assistant.
Yeah, but I can see her now. I don't want to saw her.
Feel the
I
love.
see her in the past.
I don't want to see her in the past. Anyway, we're going to get to you in a minute. I got to also say hi to my very good friend over there, Dominic DiPasquale. How you doing?
I'm very good today, thank you so much.
And who's that? Is that guy Ron? My good man, Ron Murray. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Bob. Nice to see you.
Always a pleasure to see you guys. In fact, when did I see you? A couple of weeks ago at Twin Rivers. And I got to tell you, I know I told you this in person, but I'm going to say this publicly. I've been over there, seen a lot of acts. 1 person, 2 person, 5 person, 8 person acts in that place, in that Twin River. in the, what do you call it?
Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse. And you sounded one of the best of any of them ever. Because a lot of those acts, they don't sound good in that place. It's not. I don't think the acoustics are very good in there. But you were on the money. I mean, I heard you obviously before I saw you when I was walking through the place. But when I got up to you, and I told you that, did I not? Really was very, very good. What?
Give you a check afterwards.
Yeah. No, but you can give me a song. And by the way, Dominic and Ron every year take part in they volunteer for my Toys for Tots, our very successful Toys for Tots. And again, thank you for your assistance.
Thank you.
You're always there. So give us a song. What are you going to give us? I know you're doing. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta mention this. You're doing this Tom Jones thing now, huh?
Yeah, because people have said he sounds like me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I decided to, Ron put
Wait a
the show
minute.
together.
Wait a minute. Do you got a roll of quarters?
I don't need them. I'm Italian. I'm Italian. You know what I'm saying? 5 kids later.
You're not Welsh. You're Italian, right?
That's right. Yeah. But,
Everybody doesn't understand that, but I'm sure a lot of people do, right?
We
You
put
do, don't
together
you?
the Tom Jones show.
No? I'll explain it to you later.
We put together a Tom Jones show. And,
Right.
We're there the 17th of April. We're there the 22nd of May. I'll be performing in Vegas first week in May. So.
Oh, cool. Very good.
Yes.
Oh, you deserve it. You deserve it.
Thank
You're
you. Thank you.
very talented guy, and you sing in what? How many languages? 3?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I just added Latin to it.
Yeah. Well, I used to say I got thrown out.
Ave Maria.
Oh, I know that. I love that. I went to a Catholic school for 9 years, or 8 out of 9 years.
did too.
And I got thrown out of First Communion because I said to one of the nuns, that was back in the day, the nuns wore the habit, and I said to the nun, I said, Sister Mary Irenaeus, do you know I know God's phone number? She goes, what? Yeah, I know God's phone number. She goes, what are you talking about? What is it? I said, it's Ecum Spirits 220. All right, give us a song.
Last night I went to sleep in Detroit City, and I dreamed about those cotton fields back home. I dreamed about my mama, their old papa, sister and brother. I dreamed about that girl who's been waiting far too long. I wanna go home. I want to go home. Oh, how I want to go home. Home is like a Detroit City. From the letters that I write, they think I'm fine. By day I make my calls, and by night I make the boss. If only they could read between the lines. You know, I rode a freight train deep in Detroit City. After all these years, I find that I've been wasting my time. So I think I'll take a freight train and ride on the southbound freight train and going back to the ones I left behind. I want to go home. Yeah, I want to go home. Oh, how I want to go home. Yes, I want to go home. Lord, I want to go home. Oh, how I want to go home.
Dominic, you want to go home? Nice, very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Very perfect. He's perfect for you. I mean, the voice is there. I saw Tom Jones twice at the tent.
I did too. That's what made me want to. Is you want to be individual and you want to do songs that you're recognized
Sure.
for. But after a while, you say, you know what? People like me singing Tom Jones. I think that's what I'm going to
That's
do.
right. That's right.
You know, so
It's
that's,
good. You do a
that's
nice
the
job.
thing. Thank you.
Nice accompaniment too.
Thank you.
All right,
The best.
the best. All right, Dennis, Otto, and Jimmie. Jimmie with an IE, folks. Anyway, here we are. We're talking about forensics, and we're talking about chemistry, and we're talking about explosives, and we're talking about the University of Rhode Island. And it's really great. It's a testament to the school, the university, how well you guys done. And I've been down there with you.
You came down, you did some video, and you shot almost the whole show down there.
I
Myself and Bob Hathaway were on that.
Yeah, yeah. And I mentioned it to somebody. I don't know who I mentioned it to here, and it was shocked when I told them that you actually handled a weapon.
A rifle that was taken in Memphis, Tennessee, after Dr. Martin Luther King had been shot and killed. So, in fact, the fellow who supposedly took the guy is Bob Fitzpatrick, who has lectured in our seminars and now under federal indictment in Boston.
No.
Oh yeah, because he testified for the defense in the Whitey Bulger case.
Now, is that the guy I met?
You met, no, you met Bob Hathaway.
Oh.
Bob Fitzpatrick was a retired FBI agent.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
And he lives in Charleston.
Yeah.
Maybe when he's cleared, you can have him on.
Yeah. When he's cleared or
Yes,
if
when
he's cleared?
I think he will be
Yeah,
cleared.
he'll be cleared, yeah?
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, we had the rifle that was, it was a retesting of the case.
Right.
Because the FBI had tested it, and it had been tested by a National Commission on Assassinations as well. And what the problem was is the bullet recovered from Dr. King's neck could not be identified to that weapon.
Oh, wow.
So that left the question as to whether or not there was a second weapon.
Right,
Or
a second shooter.
Another shooter. Now, a cartridge case they found in the rooming house where James O'Reilly had rented a room, and supposedly where the shot came from, which is a common bathroom
Right.
to their flop house, that cartridge case matched the test fire from that weapon. So it led them to believe that
Well,
that shot was taken from that vicinity by that rifle, and the trajectory was kind of okay, except there was a lot of trees in the way. But they couldn't match the bullet to that weapon. So
The casing, but not the bullet.
yeah, and when they caught James
Wow.
O'Reilly, they sweated him and he confessed, right?
Right.
And then he recanted his confession, but they never allowed him to recant. So what brought that to the forefront was DNA. And you want to ask why DNA
Yes.
brings the rifle to the forefront.
Right.
Because you have O.J. Simpson, 1995.
Well, he's still looking for the murderer, right?
That's
Well,
up
now
to-
he's not anyway.
But
Now he's in jail
looking for
now,
the-
so he can't
but
look for the
anyway.
murderer, right?
So you have two lawyers, Barry Scheck and Peter Neufeld, who were the lawyers involved in the case, talking about the DNA and how the testing was done, and convinced the jury that whatever came out of that laboratory was no good. And they came up with a Project Innocence. Now, Project Innocence
Right.
now goes to people who have been put in jail,
Right.
who may
On
have
death row.
on death row or whatever, life sentences, and they say, let us look at your case to see if maybe you were indicted because a certain ABO type was correct,
Right.
or a certain enzyme type was. If that biological material is still there, we can retest it. And so they convinced judges that they needed to reopen cases based on new technology. So that ties into the gun because now the bullets, like I have two things here. These are very mock-up bullets, right?
Oh, that's a plastic bullet.
Plastic. But these are we would generally need a microscope to look at these on
Right, yeah.
real bullets. But this is a mock-up of a bullet. So what you want to do is you have the bullet from the crime scene recovered from the victim,
Right.
and then a test fire from the actual weapon itself. And you want to be able to look at them under a microscope.
See if they match.
Where they match
The
up. And you've
grooves.
seen this, and you've seen the microscope. And So they want to know if it matched up. What happened is that the bullet from Dr. King's neck did not fully match up. It had the same number of grooves and
Right.
lines, had the same twist, but the microscopic markings inside those
Sure.
grooves didn't match up entirely. So it came back inconclusive.
Whoa. It was close, but no cigar.
Right, exactly. So that left it open that could be another rifle of that make and model
Right.
that could have been used. So the conspiracy theorists are saying, yes, there was another shooter.
Right.
It wasn't James O'Reilly. He said he was innocent because you sweated me, so guilty. So, of course, he spent all the time in jail. So now he gets a lawyer who is acquainted with the King family, who want to know the right answer. And they hire Dr. William Pepper, who's a lawyer, to find an expert who is using new technology now in 1997
Right.
that wasn't being used back in 68 when
Right.
first and 72 when the secondary. So Bob Hathaway, my examiner, met with a lawyer, not Dr. Pepper originally, but a lawyer from Massachusetts, and he said there's new technology out there that's being used in Canada, in Europe, and at the U.S. Fish and Wildlife in Oregon, and it's a scanning electron microscope. So rather than looking at the regular optical
what microscope?
A scanning electron microscope. We mentioned it before.
Right.
Isn't that a $250,000 piece of equipment?
That's right.
That's
yeah.
the one.
No, I wanted you to say it again.
That's
so
the
people-
one. So that's a much higher powered microscope.
Sure.
The optical microscope can give you some detail, but not a lot, not like the SEM can.
So how did it match up under that microscope?
Unfortunately, it did not.
So it was
So it
less
sti-
than conclusive.
Still comes inconclusive. It's still, Bob Hathaway testified before Judge Joe Brown, who you know has his own TV show now
Yep.
in Tennessee, and testified that the results of his examination were also inconclusive. So it didn't change it, but gave us a lot of notoriety.
So it gives more play for the conspiracy
Could still be,
theorists.
well, what they wanted to do was to treat the barrel of the rifle, try to clean it out. Bob knew it was dirty because when we tested it, you put a patch through it, it still had residue in it.
Sure.
So that means it's been fired
Fired
since the
recently,
time.
yeah.
So he wanted to do something to the barrel, and Judge Joe Brown did not allow that to be done. So the case kind of withered away, and then Mr. Ray died in jail, and there's been no further progress on that since then.
Wow.
But it was quite an event for URI. We had all the media down there.
Now, what was that? That was 97?
97, May of 1997. Yeah, we're coming up to 29 years.
That was unbelievable. You also didn't you have something to do with the biggest, the most famous case? Well, not the most famous case, because that was a pretty famous case. The Son of Sam.
No, Bob Hathaway had something to do with that.
Oh, it was.
Bob, in his early training period,
No, that's the guy
trained in New York
I
City.
talked to.
Right. He trained in New York City, and of course, New
Imagine
York
that.
City. New York City had the Son of Sam weapon,
Right.
and what they did for Bob is they let him test fire the weapon and keep the bullet as a projectile, and then he had it fixed in Lexan, clear plastic, and he uses it as a demonstration to say, I have the Son of Sam cartridge. I also have a cartridge from the weapon that killed John Lennon, because everyone knows who John Lennon is from the Beatles.
Not everyone.
Well,
Let me tell you something. I got a quick story for you.
Okay, go ahead.
I was in Moscow, Russia one night, and I was there for a week or so, but I wanted to go to Red Square. It was snowing like crazy, but I wanted to go to Red Square because we're getting ready to leave Moscow to go to Kazakhstan. And I said to the guy, this official for the Kremlin, I said, I want to go there. This is late at night, too, by the way. And it was snowing like crazy. And we're with this professional fighter. We were there. I used to go around with these international kickboxers. And so I got the kickboxer with us and the trainer, and we go to Red Square, and we're walking through. Red Square is gigantic, gigantic, and it's like a contradiction. You got these beautiful, beautiful architecturally perfect buildings, and then next to them you got these straight, ugly-looking buildings. You know, the Soviet apartments. And I look over and I see there's two guards standing outside the tomb, Lenin's tomb, right? So I said, look at that, the guards, they don't even let him go inside Lenin's tomb. And the guy, the fighter goes, John Lennon's buried here? I didn't know John Lennon was buried here.
felt different. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to throw you
yeah,
off,
yeah.
but I had to tell you that story because I cracked up. I cracked up for a while after that show. John Lennon's buried here. He was so serious too. He thought John Lennon was buried there.
That is a funny story.
So he had the John Lennon bullet.
He had a bullet from the gun that was used to shoot and kill John Lennon.
Now
Yeah.
Hinckley's still alive, right?
Hinckley, as far as I know, is still alive.
Actually, I know he's alive because I think his parole came up again,
Yeah,
right? He got
yeah.
denied again.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, those are the stories Bob Hathaway's has. I mean, we
Yeah,
have
because
our
he told me that. He
Yeah,
told me
absolutely
that. I
does,
remember
yeah.
that now
Okay.
because I mixed it up because
I'm sure
I
he
was,
let you take a picture of it too, because he's
yes,
very proud
yes,
of those labs.
yeah. I was down there and I talked with you and I talked with him and we went around and
And you know, you have to come back because we moved firearms now.
I was going to say that. I was going to ask you because I heard that you moved the tank.
Yes, we moved the tank. And,
It used to be outside.
No, it was in
Not
the
outside.
garage.
It was in another building. It
It
was
was
like
in
a
the garage
garage.
in
Yeah.
another building, which was across the street from where we are.
Right, that's right.
And they knocked that building down to build a road. And then they moved the tank half a mile away. So that became a problem for us. And we talked about that on your last show, about having to pack up the guns and ammunition, put them in the back of a car,
Right.
drive them through the center of the university residential community, down to the tank where it is in a basement of a building in a garage with a wood flooring above us, and fire the guns there.
Well, isn't there also a problem? Don't you have to have continuous what do
Chain
they
of
call
custody.
it? Chain of custody.
But so long as the guns are locked in the back of the car, we're fine. You proposed that they had a roadblock or they ran into somebody who was having car trouble. They got out of the car and somebody steals the guns. Oh,
Right.
that's a possibility.
Right.
But a very small possibility, let's say.
Well,
Hasn't happened yet.
You look
And
at
we're not
these
looking for it to happen
you,
either.
you look at these TV shows and you see all those crazy
Right,
things on
yeah,
the
right.
TV show.
And we are not anything like the people on the TV shows.
No, I'm sure.
I
I'm
don't
sure
have
you're not.
six-pack abs. I don't carry a gun. So I'm nothing like those guys. And we're not in dimly lit laboratories with all this fancy equipment. We have equipment that's sometimes 10, 15, 20 years old, and we're looking to replace it.
I was watching a show the other night. I actually changed the channel. It was a new drama, and the guy, the star, and the girl with the tattoos all over her body.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen the show. I turned the channel because it annoys me when they do real stupid things. They getting on this plane. It's got a nuclear weapon on it, and the bad guys that climbed, they commandeered this plane, and they're getting ready to taxi off, ready to take off. So the two stars, guy and the tattoo girl, run up to the plane and they climb in the wheel well and they get on the plane and they got to stop this. Now there's like a half a dozen guys with submachine guns on the plane. They got a pistol, right? I go, why, Bob? Now, oh, by the way, there was 10 other guys there on their side there with Russian automatic weapons.
AK-47.
AKs, which I used to have, by the way. And these two guys, the guy and the girl, climb in it. Instead of the military guys climbing in it with the AK. And by the way, you don't have to climb in it. How about shooting the tires out? That's all you got to do. Shoot the tires out the plane.
But then it wouldn't last the 30 or 40 minutes that the TV
Yeah,
program has
because
to
now
last.
he gets in the plane. Now you got a guy and a girl on the plane against 6 people, and get this one. Now you got to deal with the pilots too. What happens after even if you overtake everybody? Now you're in the plane, and who flies the plane now? I
girl
shoot
with
the
the
tires.
tattoos.
Oh, of course she flies the plane, and of course they shut the engines off, and she had to land it without no power. Anyhow.
You could offer to advise for those shows.
I know. No, it'd be easy. That's why I don't like. That's why I don't like horror movies, because they're the dumbest of all. Some woman's home by herself and she hears a noise downstairs, and all of a sudden the lights go out, and she's got to go down and investigate from the second floor, and it's thunder and lightning and everything, and she's got to go down to the basement because she hears a noise down there. Well, you don't use the phone and call somebody, or how about just closing yourself in the room, locking yourself in the room, and get your weapon? But they go downstairs with a candle, of course, and the candle goes out, and then the monster or whatever, some crazy person appears.
See, my children have already learned that every show starts out with killing off the parents or making them disappear so the kids can have an adventure.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, we think way back to Bambi. What do? You kill off Bambi's mother right away, right?
So when does this device going to be used, or is it used already? This device that detects what is it called?
TATP.
TATP.
Triacetone triperoxide. We're planning to do field trials first in Atlantic City at the FAA facility there, and then after that, if things go according to plan, in Savannah, Georgia at the port there, which is the second largest seaport on the eastern United States. So that's our plan for this year.
Now when?
Within this year, within a year. From
Oh,
now.
you're not going to give me a timetable.
I can't give you a timetable.
No, you
right
can't
now.
tell me it's going to be June
I
17th.
can't. I would love to tell you that.
Yeah?
I can't.
You can't.
I can't.
Now, you going to be there?
I don't know. I
don't-
haven't been invited yet.
Well, what's the story? You can't tell me. You can't even invite your
We will-
colleague?
We will. We'll invite you. How's that?
Well,
But you?
We'll invite
oh,
you
me
and
too.
we'll invite
Yeah,
Jimmie.
yeah.
Bring the camera.
I know. I've been to
We'll
Atlanta.
even invite
I
them.
did the Olympics
okay.
down there. I was down there for 11 days when they had the bombing, the Olympics bombing down there.
Atlanta?
I left the
Atlanta,
day
Georgia.
before that happened.
Oh, in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
during the Olympics, 96.
yep.
I think it was 96, wasn't it? Yeah.
I actually
Eric
went
Jewell.
down there after the bombing with a committee to look at new airport equipment when it was brand new coming out, and they said, test it on Jimmie. If anybody is going to test positive, it's going to be Jimmie.
Really?
So I had a handbag, very much like this one. They took it out, they swabbed it, and voila, it was positive. So I took it home and put it in Goodwill.
So you tested positive for explosives. Yeah, I would want to travel with you. My God. Can you? Oh, by the way, since you're testing things, I had last June, I had a bone scan, and with the bone scan, they hit you with this radioactive isotope or something to die during the scan. The next day, this is going since June. That's like 9 months. The next day, I woke up. I can't even close my hands. I turned my wrist, they hurt like hell. And they still do 9 months later. Now, everybody tells me in the medical profession, they tell me, oh no, that's nothing to do with that dye. Water soluble, it dissipates within 24 hours. I said, but there's gotta be 1% or 1/2 or 1/4% that it affects adversely. And I am that person. I believe that because nothing else makes sense. I mean, I went in there to test for my knee, and I come out with more pain than my knee ever thought of having.
You did hear Otto tell you we're not those kind of doctors.
I know that. No, but my point is you're a chemist, though. You're a chemist.
An engineer and a chemist.
And a chemist.
Yeah.
And a chemist. You know, you're in the field, right? So you don't know about that stuff. All right.
Sorry, you don't want me treating you for anything.
All right, wait a minute.
You know, in my field, we have a
Ju-
saying: there's no problem too big that you can't fix with a little amount of high explosives.
I love it. I love it. And you're talking to they used to call me Mr. Firework in Rhode Island, you know.
Is that true?
That's right. That's absolutely right. I was very big into fireworks back in the day.
Good to know.
I loved explosives of the sort. I got out of it when they got bad with this stuff, this crazy stuff. Anyway, we'll get off that for a second. Hey, who we got over there? Jason, how you doing?
Fantastic.
Now, what do you got for me here tonight? I love this.
I have something very special for you, Bob, as well as my viewers.
Well, you always have something special. What is it?
Bob, I'm going to take this lovely woman right here, Miss Sadie,
Sadie.
and I'm going to cut her in half.
Oh, don't do that.
Now, Bob, most magicians aren't going to do what I'm about to do. Bob, I'm going to have you literally inspect the entire illusion. So please, come here.
Excuse me. I got to inspect an illusion.
Both blades, make sure that they are solid and real.
Oh, whoa, what is this? These are blades?
Yes,
You're cutting it with these?
yes. Now, Bob, in front of the camera, if you can tell all of our fellow New Englanders that the entire interior...
Sadie, you got him on. You're gonna be cut in half.
I'm going to be cut in half, Bob.
Uh-oh.
Hop inside the cabinet.
Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a bad knee, and I'm not from South Dakota. Oh, holy cow! No, I can't do that. Huh? This thing moves.
Okay, hit the cabinet and make sure it's all solid.
It's even bolted.
Make sure that there's no trap doors or moving parts.
Can I karate kick it?
Go ahead.
No. Not with my legs right now. I couldn't. I'd love to if my knee was bad. Good. That would
What
be
I'd
funny.
like you to say in front of the camera,
Karate
Bob,
kick the- Huh?
what I'd like you to say in front of the camera to our viewers is that the cabinet is completely solid.
The cabinet is completely solid.
There are
He
no
told me to
moving.
say
There
that.
are no moving parts.
No moving parts.
And this hasn't been staged.
It's not staged. All right. So go ahead. Jason Morel, now you're doing something, you're getting ready to do some other program with the military, are you?
Yes, Sadie.
Quickly, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, our fellow viewers, since 9/11, the attack on the United States, 9,867 men and women have given their life for this nation. And the government hasn't really helped greatly. So Sadie and I are trying to start a program called Operation Magic Touch. It's the art of utilizing magic and illusion to help disabled veterans, as well as those less fortunate and low income that have mental illnesses like PTSD. I have it myself. I'm 100% from the VA, and it's not easy to deal with, as well as TBI, traumatic brain injury, depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses. And we are on GoFundMe.com. So go on to GoFundMe.com/Operation Magic Touch and donate to the cause. We will have our 501 Charlie C3 license probably 4 to 6 months from now, depending on how long it takes the state to approve it. And then after that, we're going to be doing this for the vets because a lot of them don't have the help that they've earned from serving this country.
That's right. All right, thank you. Now, Sadie, you got to go in the box and get
Hopefully I come out whole, but
Really?
I don't know. This
Wow.
has gone bad once or twice before. We'll see.
cut. Can only go bad once.
Maestro, if you please. Remember, it's just...
A man decides after 70 years that what he goes there for is to unlock the door. Well, those around him criticize and sleep. Through a fractal on a breaking wall, I see you, my friend, and touch your face again. Miracles will happen as we dream. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we are a little.
That was great.
Thank you, Bob.
And you're all in one piece, too.
All in one piece. Look at that.
Well, thank you, Jason.
It's always an honor.
Very good. Excellent, excellent
Thank
trick.
you, Bob.
Nice
Thank
job.
you.
Nice job. All right, Dominic DiPasquale and Ron Murray.
When the twilight is gone and no songbirds are singing, when the twilight is gone, you come into my arms, and here in my arms you will stay while I pray. My prayer is to linger with you at the end of the day in a dream that's divine. My prayer is a rapture and blue in a world far away, with your lips close to mine. Tonight, with your heart on the glow, please tell me the words that I'm longing to know. My prayer and the answer you give may still be the same.
for as long as I live, that you'll always be there at the end of my prayer.
Whoa, nice job. Dominic DiPasquale, Ron Murray, and my prayer, the Platters.
Grazie tutti.
Grazie. Hey, we're back. We are back. Now, Jimmy, you got to tell us a little bit about explosives, being the explosives expert at University of Rhode Island, and Otto, the machine you got that can test the stuff, how effective is it?
It's very effective. We can detect TATP in the vapor, for example, at about a part per billion. That's
Wow.
Well, it's very sensitive.
Wow.
Yeah.
How far away?
That's the good question. It's like a dog that has to come in proximity to where the explosive is suspected. So
Right.
you can't just, I can't be 100 feet away.
But
and
if
use
you're
our
walking through an
detector.
airport, through a terminal, and you're walking around like they do with the
Through
dogs.
through a relatively close space, yes, okay, but
Right.
not in a large, empty
No,
room.
no,
yes.
not like
Maybe through a doorway.
Through a doorway or a jetway or
Right, a
you know,
hallway of some
a
kind.
hallway, a restricted airspace. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And I understand, how big is the machine?
The sensors are tiny, less than a centimeter by a centimeter.
But you have to put it in something.
Yeah, you
make
have to
it-
put it in. There's plumbing and packaging, and so right now it's a size of a small suitcase.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
And I understand you're trying to get it down to
We would like to ultimately
phone size.
something like this,
Right.
but that's 4 or 5 years away.
Sure.
The more portable device right now is in the size of a small suitcase. That's what's planned for.
Wow. Now, how can you prevent something like happened at Brussels from happening in the United States?
Well, I don't know if you can totally prevent it, but you can help. What's nice about our technique, it's complementary to other techniques that are already in the airports.
In use.
Okay, in use, okay. So that's what you really want to do, is you want to have complementary techniques
Right,
that
right.
could be used for
Double
screen-
coverage, so to
double
speak.
coverage to screen. You really want to screen to prevent the thing from happening in the first place.
Sure.
So it's all about screening. And so that's what our device would be, one more tool in the toolbox to screen for potential threats. That's the simplest way to say it. So,
Right, because I mean, it's getting more and
Crazy.
more scary nowadays. I mean,
And
it's
you mentioned something about sensors in garages and parking areas of the airports that could detect things too before they even get to the terminal.
yeah, so there's other places to place the sensors if
Sure.
it was thought out.
like you said, a
You know,
parking
yeah,
garage.
parking garages, and when you go through
Or the
under-
drop-off, where they're dropping off
drop-off
people
areas
right
and-
there
and-
at the
yeah.
luggage area.
Yeah,
So
departure areas,
what they
yeah.
call an easy target was before getting into the airport security. That was what happened in Brussels. You're saying that this machine would detect.
The sensors could possibly detect people carrying bags that had enough explosive on the surface or on their person
Right.
to be
Or
able
they
to
touched
be,
it?
or they touched it, yes.
Because
Came
in other words,
contact.
those three guys that they show pushing the carts, it probably easily would have
They
detected
probably
that.
had some kind of residue on their person
Right.
that would get into the air, and then it could be detected. So, if you are close enough to that space, so.
Well, that's pretty
That's the idea.
encouraging, is what that is, especially in lieu of what happened. But tell me something. This I can't remember it again.
TATP.
TATP.
She's a chemist.
We
Yeah.
actually make training aids for dogs, and the dogs here in Rhode Island have been trained on them to look for TATP. We provide these to Rhode Island dogs.
Right.
We do this for Connecticut, MTA, New York, and Massachusetts, and a few further flung like Vancouver.
Now, how do you train a dog to accept it?
Well, the dog just needs to have the scent. I think once you've smelled chocolate chip cookies baking, you recognize them when you
Sure.
walk in the house. The
Sure.
dog has to be introduced to the smell and told, this means something to you, you need to give a particular signal. So
Well, what do you give him, a treat when he texts it or something? What do
there
they
are
do?
two kinds of dogs. There are food reward dogs. They only eat when they're working.
That's my dog. That's my beagle.
He only eats when he's working.
And there's play reward dogs.
Okay, yeah, you give him his treat.
That's
his
right.
play toy.
So there's two different communities on how to. The food reward dog has to train every day if he's going to eat. I don't know how some of us would survive if we were treated that way.
So you could take my beagle, who's a big beagle, but he's got a heck of a sense of smell.
Well, you know the Customs uses beagles. I've been busted by a Customs beagle more than once.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, my son, when he was young, I've had that beagle 12 years. My son's 21 now. When he was 12 years old, 13 years old, he wanted a beagle because he said the beagle had the best sense of smell. Is that true?
And the beagles and bloodhounds are known for their sense of smell.
Yeah. And it's something like so many thousand times our sense of smell, right?
They actually, in their olfactory system, it's kind of a circular cavity where the odors circulate and stay quite a long time. Plus, they have this sniffing system that is alternative, kind of blows and then sucks. So you're gonna, this ablation of the surface. There's a lot of study on how dogs work because they want equipment to pick up scent as well as a dog.
Right.
And I had an agency once ask us to look at birds for sensing explosives.
Birds.
Birds, because you can see that if you had birds flying over the city, they might detect a truck bomb.
Sure.
But turns out even the raptors, which like your vultures have a great, what we think is a great sense of smell, does not compare to a dog.
Right.
So we stay with dogs. There are a few folks using rats. You may have seen the news items on the South African rats. Pigs, of course, are not bad, but nobody wants to walk around with a pig. And there's a few studies, now I'm not kidding here, there are a few studies that elephants are not bad.
Yeah, but you don't
where
want to walk
put
through
them
it.
in
Come
the-
on,
yeah,
come on. Where are you
yeah.
going to go in the airport with an elephant?
But see, for landmines,
You go to
elephants
Thailand.
aren't
I see
bad.
him walking around in Thailand.
Right. They've got all the right equipment, you know,
Yeah.
for this, the sniffer, for doing it.
Yeah, yeah. But they don't have this as strong a sense of smell as a dog, right?
No, they do.
They do?
Yes, it's just that dogs are, of that group of animals I just made,
Right.
dogs are the ones that man has domesticated and can
Right,
say,
right.
tell me about it, tell me what you smell. And we think they're working.
Wow. Wow, that's unbelievable. Now, hey, how often do you blow things up? I'd like to go down and see you blow something up.
Well, we have to do it for a reason.
Well, you got a reason. Bob wants you to blow it
There
up.
you go. There's a reason.
fulfillment.
Do you have a bring something you want us to blow up?
Yeah, I got. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
We've done a laptop for the media. We did a printer, a cartridge printer. Great. Put the material in the black cartridge,
Right.
leave the yellow and red and blue alone. Makes beautiful paint. In fact, we're thinking of a way of funding our research
Right.
by doing
Selling
explosive
the art.
paint. That's right.
Selling the artwork, right?
Yeah, you can hawk it on this show. We'll bring it down. Hawk on
Well,
explosive
that sounds
art.
something different, right?
That's different, all right.
It's different, huh?
Better than a GoFundMe page, I guess. Sorry about that.
No, I've always been intrigued by explosives. Explosives are well, not cool anymore. They used to be fun back in the day with M80s and cherry bombs and all that stuff. But now this.
Well, wait a minute.
What?
One of the three reasons that the Dark Ages ended, printing press, discovery of the New World,
And gunpowder.
And gunpowder. You got to be able to move stuff bigger than yourself.
Right. That's right.
So explosives
Exactly right.
actually are good for you if they're used correctly.
Aha. Well, you got to have the right explosives and the right person using the explosive, right?
That's true.
Well, folks, I guess we're running out of time. Dominic, you're going to give us a song, but before you do, you know what I got to do? I'm going to run over. John, can we set up a camera over here? I got to run over to the food section. Can you set up a camera over there? Look, can you believe John's doing this whole
John
thing
is
by
a
himself?
amazing
John Flanagan.
guy.
Yeah, let's give John Flanagan a hand. He's running this whole show by himself.
One-man
In front of the
show.
camera.
One-man
one-man
show.
show.
John Flanagan is all by himself over here.
Like the old days when you ran the cameras.
Remember when we used to do this, folks?
Oh, put the chef's jacket on.
We used to do this. We used to have every show, but that got changed after the the West
Station
Warwick
forward.
problem, the disaster in West Warwick,
Station
a lot of the restaurants, so we couldn't come here anymore. Well, I just want to show you something, folks. Here's a ham that I bought last night. Now, we chowed this down. How many of us ate ham today? How many of us ate ham? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We still got probably 3 pounds of ham left.
I didn't eat yet.
Dominic, you didn't eat yet. All right, I bought 10 pounds of ham, a 10-pound ham, for $9.90. It was the time to buy is when it's on sale, folks. I bought 5 pounds of red potatoes for $3.99, 3 pounds of sweet potatoes for $2.67, 2 pounds of carrots for $2.38. I bought 2 pounds of turnips for $2.39, and I bought mustard and brown sugar and a head of cabbage for $1.67. The total price to cook for at least 10 people. We're talking cabbage, carrots, turnip. What else we got?
Potatoes.
Red bliss potatoes, I might add, and sweet potatoes, and ham for at least 10 people for $25. $25.29 it costs to cook this whole meal. And by the way, it's not rocket science. These hams are cooked before you buy them. All you really have to do is heat them up. I take the brown sugar, mix it with mustard, put it all over the ham, put some pineapples on it, put some tin foil over it, 350 in the oven for about 3 hours, and you got a nice ham. Look at. Is that nice? Delicious. Instead of buying the ham in the wrapper that's been there, that's got all kinds of preservatives in it and salt in it. In fact, was this ham salty?
No. Excellent. Not salty.
Thank you. Thank you. And my point is, folks, instead of going to the market and buying all that garbage food and serving it to your kids with all the preservatives, buy real food. It's cheaper, it's better for them, and by the way, I still got ham sandwiches tomorrow and ham and eggs tomorrow if I want. Dominic, thanks for stopping by.
You're welcome. Can I say one thing, Bob?
Go for it.
We were speaking about sensitive smells and beagles. I had an uncle called Luigi Garabondi. And Luigi lived 4 houses from us. And when my mother was cooking, he smelled it and he was the first one sitting at the table. Just saying. So Luigi, you could have used him as like a bloodhound.
Yeah.
The only problem, you could use him today, but he's been dead for 25 years.
There you go. Dominic, thank you for spending an hour with Bob. Ron.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
And Jason. Sadie, thank you for...
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, you're great. You're great. And Dennis, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Bob. Thank you for inviting
Otto.
us.
Thank you.
Jimmy, thank you for stopping by. Very interesting guest. I want to come down there. We got to check out the...
You can do that.
We got
You
to
are
blow. We got to
invited.
blow stuff
Oh,
up.
yes.
We're gonna have some fun. Dominic, take us out of here.
I can't stop loving you. Said I made up my mind to live in memories of such a long, lonesome time. Well, I can't stop wanting you. Said it's useless to say, for I'll just live my life in dreams of yesterday. Those happy hours I said that we once knew, with so long ago, it's gonna make me blue. They say that time it heals a broken heart, but time has stood still since we've been apart. Well, I can't stop said I made up my mind to live in memories of such a long and lonesome time. Give me one more time. When I kiss someone to you, said it's useless to say, for I'll just live my life in dreams of
Yeah!
Thank you, Bob.
Nice job. Folks, thank you for spending an hour with Bob. Until next time, see you.